to get a chance to share our experiences with you. I suppose we were a little bit later to Zoom. You all know the pile of emails that came in offering supports and webinars and that. And I happened upon a Zoom webinar. And I suppose it's the simple things that attract you, really. For me, it was the raise hand function and the waiting room. I thought they were just fantastic. And that's how I started on our Zoom journey as a school. We're a Microsoft school and we were using the Teams functions, and it was good. It was definitely good. But Zoom definitely took our staff meetings to a whole new level in terms of functionality and control. And as Shane said earlier on, in terms of safety as well. So just similar to the previous two speakers, to Ava and to Gabrielle, we use them for staff meetings, year head meetings. I used it for meetings with a whole variety of different people. And when it came to the calculated grades process, teachers used it for their subject alignment group meetings. And it really was, going back to something that Leo said earlier on, it's the teachers, if there's ease of functionality, the teachers will buy into it very quickly. And I don't think I've ever seen anything in all my time as a principal take off so quickly amongst a group of staff, particularly when they were operating remotely, as the Zoom did, simply because of ease of use and ease of functionality. So I suppose the big one for us was coming towards the end of the year and conscious of the fact that students had left the building on the 12th of March, and our leaving certs in particular, and that it became obvious they weren't going to get a chance to come back to school. So it was how to acknowledge their time in school and how to acknowledge their passing from post-primary out into the world. So we started talking about the concept of how we could put together a graduation for our leaving certs. So in conjunction with Shane and IMS and chatting about how we could do this, we decided on the webinar function for Zoom to host our sixth-year graduation ceremony. And it started small, the ideas, and we realised quickly what the capabilities were. So we had a lot of pre-recorded pieces. I did a virtual walk around for the school for the students because they hadn't seen it since the 12th of March and they weren't going to get a chance to see it again. I pre-recorded a speech, and so did the deputy principal and the year head. We had representatives from the sixth-year groups recorded speeches. We also did the dance to blinding lights, but enough said about that. We then allowed, we got the students and their parents and families to pre-register, so we had a good idea of how many were in attendance, and the vast majority were able to attend. And again, going back to what Gabrielle said, being able to record it so that other people who missed it were able to see it afterwards, that was a huge bonus as well. So it was a lovely celebration. What I liked too was the functionality of the co-hosting. So while we had pre-recorded pieces in it, myself and my deputy, Vivian Hogan, we actually co-hosted the session. So you had recorded pieces interspersed with the kind of live commentary as well. So it brought that kind of human touch to it. So it was a hugely positive and fantastic experience. Great feedback from the staff and from the Leaving Cert students and their families. So that would have kind of been our big one. We've done a lot of what the other presenters have said as well in terms of meetings. I too did the Zoom meetings for the parents for the return to school, because there's a lot of anxiety out there, a lot of it fueled by social media and the media in general about what it might be like. And of course, returning to school for any school is going to be unique to themselves and to the context and the design of their school and the resources they have. So I realised that it was going to be essential that parents could kind of get some sort of visual of what was going on, and you can't replicate that in a letter. So again, I just sent out a Zoom link on text message to the parents and invited them to meet with me and the deputy principal to talk through what we had done in the school in terms of making it safe for the return of students. And I think that was very important to put people's minds at rest. So we were able to use the share screen function to share a PowerPoint to show the maps of the school, how we have divided it into pink zone and green zone and where the pods are, and how we've divided up rooms so that the students would be safe. And parents were hugely appreciative of that. And again, through the chat function and to the hands up function at the end, parents were able to ask questions. It was a fantastic way of getting that information across to people. And again, as I said, recording it and having it available for people who couldn't make it on the day. So going forward, I suppose the next big one for us would be open night, which would have been a huge night in our calendar, where we would have our open nights for students from sixth classes planning to come to second level. So obviously we can't do that this year. We can't have people walking around the school in the evening times, and that's a shame. So we are now planning to do our virtual open night, where again we will be able to do the whole tour around the school virtually, and we will have presentations from the different subject departments and the different subjects, and give the overall feel about what our school is about through the Zoom webinar function. And again, we'll be able to take Q&A through the Q&A function and through the chat function. So I suppose just to sum up, I think it's the ease of use with Zoom that it became a very, very firm favourite with my staff. The minute we could see its functionality and its what it could do for us as a staff. And again, as Ava said, staff meetings will be through Zoom for the year. And we've had very, very successful staff meetings and great interaction. And it's just lovely. It was lovely to see people at the time of lockdown. So again, we were adapting as everybody is, but we're looking forward to Zoom being a major part of how our school will move forward.